I've been in the region a while, but we've now changed the way we operate, and it opened up an opportunity for me to look at how do I create a supply chain that is consumer focused. And so we started off by looking at our consumer occasions in Africa. So we have 5 consumer occasions, which range from premiumization to exploration, and then moves into like value hunting, especially in Africa due to the economy. Me and my team then sat down and we looked at, okay, how do we look at a specialized supply chain for each one of these? So that you don't have a one-size-fits-all supply chain, but you actually have a supply chain that is segmented to derive the best value for that specific area. So focusing a supply chain around consumer and customer. For the premiumization, it's the person who's trading up when he goes out. It's the person who tries to try a bit of a better liquid, things like that. So how do you make sure that the offering for that person is clear, the product is on the shelf all the time? We've got the hub, which we're working on to make sure that it's close by, because you don't want to wait 3 months if you had an opportunity to sell something. We're also looking at how do we look at logistics in that space, because if it's a premium malt, you don't want to put it at the back of a beer truck. You may want to have a very different offering that you actually deliver the product in a different way. So that's the premium supply chain. When you look at exploration, it's really much around, we see the consumers are trying new products, and it's probably in many different industries. They are exploring with different tastes or products, has so many flavors, and in that space you need to be really close to the customer and consumer information, because if you're not reading fast enough what product they are actually taking up, you could miss an opportunity to be able to actually play in that space. That's why the digital supply chain connected to the consumer is important, because we want to be agile. We want to know, okay, that brand grew in that store on whatever weekend. How do we capitalize on that more and then send stock? So being really agile around where the actual take-up is of product, but also looking at potentially what's the supply chain structure, because it's small runs. It's not something that can go for like big productivity programs, because you're going to probably be a bit more expensive in the beginning while you establish your demand for the product. And then obviously in value hunting, because you're trying to give a customer or a consumer something that is affordable, you need to be really good at productivity, where you want to be able to be as efficient as possible so that you don't have extra cost and then have to pass it on to the consumer.